page 228. Please be seated.
So each of these 13 blessings up here have learned a lot over the course of their time here at Temple and in their lives and in their Jewish lives. So throughout the morning, we'll have an opportunity to learn their Torah from each of them. And after this, just so you know, in case you hear something that's really inspiring or really beautiful, and I promise you will, after the service, we will have packets available that have all of their bios and also all of their words in it as well. So we encourage you to take that on the way out. But first this morning, Rachel Bressler.
I first heard about One Day by Matisyahu when I was in middle school and had to learn to sing it for the Temple Youth Choir during high holidays. Besides thinking the lyrics were pretty powerful, I really didn't think anything of this song, but this was before I began my journey as a Jewish teen. Before I had my bat mitzvah, I had little to no Jewish pride. I didn't like going to Sunday school, and I hated leaving my sleepovers early on Sundays to go to it. With the help of Rabbis Fred and Andy and the motivation from Dr. Dresser, I had an amazing bat mitzvah. Afterward, I was so proud of myself for going through with my bat mitzvah, and I had never felt more proud to be Jewish. In my bat mitzvah speech, I spoke about how at one point in the future, I would love to visit Israel to strengthen my connection to Judaism even more, and in January of 2022, my dad forwarded me an email from the Jewish Federation offering a spot on the Partnership Together trip that summer. After an essay and a few interviews, I secured my spot. This trip allowed me and 11 other Jewish teens from the southeastern United States to live with Jewish teens for 2 weeks and travel throughout Israel together. This trip, as you can imagine, was life-changing. I thought an American teenager's life would be so different compared to an Israeli teen's, but it turned out our lives were surprisingly similar. Besides visiting the classic landmarks in Israel, we saw movies, bowled, and shopped together, and when we went to the Bedouin tents, we sat around a bonfire and sang One Day. Saying goodbye to my new Israeli friends was one of the hardest goodbyes I've ever had to make, but I still talk to them to this day. The horrific acts of October 7th happened, and I knew I needed to use my voice for the people who couldn't. I joined about 50 Greensboro Jews on a journey to Washington, D.C., where we gathered with 290,000 other Israel supporters on the March for Israel. I got to see families of hostages, elected officials of both Israel and America, and journalists speak. In between speakers, they had a special guest come out, Matisyahu, and right there, I got to sing One Day with hundreds of thousands of other people. This January was my second time going on the Litaken Social Justice Seminar in DC, but this year it was extra special because the night we checked into our hotel rooms, I found out I had been accepted to UNC Chapel Hill with Liz, Sally, and Julia by my side. Saturday night, we celebrated Havdalah at the Jefferson Memorial and sang One Day, and I realized how amazing my journey as a Jew has been. Being a Jewish teen right now is terrifying and frustrating, but I wouldn't trade it for anything, because I would have never had experiences even close to the ones I've had if I weren't a proud Jew.
Next, we'll hear from Liz Geyer.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I recently babysat at a Temple Emmanuel Kesher cookout, and I asked one of our kindergartners why he liked being Jewish. He responded simply, "The pizza they give us." It struck me that our initial draw to Judaism often evolves as we mature. I grew up in Potomac, Maryland, switching between conservative and conservadox synagogues. I didn't enjoy going, but my mother was very connected to her Jewish identity and knew she had to raise her children Jewish. But that can mean a lot of different things. For her, that meant Hebrew immersion pre-K and very religious services for her children. It wasn't until she attended a board meeting where people were discussing how they were going to keep their children from marrying non-Jews to decide which sect of our family belonged to. The Jewish community is supposed to be a welcoming place for everyone, and as a convert herself, this was concerning. And just like that, I was a Reformed Jew. I was going to URJ camps and moving to Temple Emmanuel Greensboro, a Reformed temple. At Temple Emmanuel, I discovered the most important parts of my Jewish identity. My passion for combating anti-Semitism and learning about Israel was sparked. During my sophomore year, I was able to spend a semester in Israel. I learned how to be a leader and found a place I now call home. This led me to the March of the Living, where I marched with Holocaust survivors and saw that anti-Semitism didn't die with the 6 million people we lost in the Holocaust. After this trip, I got an internship with an organization named Stand With Us and had the opportunity to plan 6 programs where I taught the youth in our community the importance of their identities. This inspired me to create the Grimsley Jewish Student Union, where Jewish and non-Jewish students come together to learn about Jewish culture. It is a safe space in a time where sometimes it feels like there isn't one. If I'm being honest, this is my 3rd time speaking on my Jewish journey on this bima, so I questioned, what can I say that hasn't been said? Then I realized I've always talked about what I've learned, but not what I do with what I've learned. At Grimsley High School, we recently had a group of students try to organize a protest to stand with the college students who are taking part in encampments all across the country. They wanted it to take place on Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Memorial Day. Jewish students and parents were frightened. We didn't fully understand the intent of the protest yet. But what I realized was when these students were frightened, they turned to the safe spaces that I had helped create, Youth Group and Jewish Student Union. Because at its heart, Judaism to me is about the community. And to be able to lead the high school community in a time that felt unsafe was so rewarding. Next year, I will be attending the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I do not doubt I will continue to create these safe spaces in uncertain times. And one day, hopefully not need a safe space. Thank you.
And now we'll hear from Jacob Gers.
Boker Tov, everyone. My life has been an extraordinary combination of 2 forces, the arts and Judaism. As a young child, the connection between Judaism and entertainment had always been on my mind. I think of watching Jewish children's television, specifically Oi Baby, and the enjoyment for the material of what it was, Jewish music videos that just happened to be aimed towards children. As I grew older, my passion for both the arts and my Jewish heritage blossomed in perfect harmony. At my temple in Michigan, I found my place in the youth choir, where we learned and sang a litany of melodies, from the Latka song to the Debbie Friedman classic Aleph Bet, and of course, the lyrical masterpiece, Dan Nichols' The Nana song. In fact, my love for the rituals and traditions of Shabbat became so intense that on Friday nights I would don a bathrobe, which I imagined as a beautiful tallit draped over my shoulders and a Toys R Us guitar slung around my neck, and I would passionately take on the role of rabbi at the head of the family table. I would lead my family through the blessings over the wine and the challah with all of the gusto a 5-year-old could muster. As kids, we try on many different hobbies, but the one that stuck for me was the theater. I participated for a long time, but I was presented with a crossroad. My bar mitzvah was approaching, and it required my undivided focus, learning my parsha and my haftarah. It was a difficult decision for me to step away from the stage, and I admit it crushed me to do it, but little did I know it would become a major turning point in my life. I found my solace in the technical realm of the theater, and it welcomed me with a newfound passion. I wound up going down an unforeseen path of passion and purpose. Reflecting on my journey now, I realize the debt of gratitude that I owe my parents for gently nudging me to prioritize my bar mitzvah preparation. Their wisdom led me to discover a part of my work I otherwise might have overlooked. In the intricate dance between my Jewish heritage and the captivating world of theater, I found my place, my calling, and my sense of purpose. This passion that lived within me knew no bounds. It followed me everywhere I went. Whether it was camp, where I eagerly assisted the rabbi of Tamarack camps in setting up microphones and speakers for his Kabbalat Shabbat services, or at Dr. Dresser's theater program, where I contributed to countless productions, it became the heartbeat of my existence. But the most important moment of all occurred in January of 2022, and I became the director of audio and video here at Temple Emmanuel. I operate cameras and microphones and contribute to broadcasting our services through the internet. This role not only involved lending a hand at numerous small events, but above all, it gave me the privilege of being present at Temple for every Friday night Shabbat services. In the more than 2 years since embarking on this journey, I've been blessed to participate in over 100 Shabbat evening services. I immersed myself in the rhythms of tradition, learning and embracing the sacred format of a Shabbat service. Countless melodies and timeless prayers have made their way into my heart, forging memories that will live within me forever. Yet Shabbat at Temple has become more than just a religious observance. It's been a gateway to learning and growth. Through the enlightening sermons of Rabbis Koren, Fisher, and Gutman, I've delved in the complexities of anti-Semitism, explored the transformative power of social justice, delved into the vibrant tapestry of Israel, and savored the wisdom of Torah. I've been fortunate to discover the perfect blend of my two passions. This intersection has been constant throughout my journey, marking every stage with unique significance. Whether it's music Shabbat or my role here at Temple, it's become an integral part of who I am. Shabbat Shalom.
We'll hear more shortly. In the meantime, we'll turn to page 232 in our prayer books, the words of Shema, this central prayer of our people. And we ask that you please rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please be seated.
Page 234, we join our voices together with the singing of V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavcha Hayom alevavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'aderech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, uv'kshatam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'eineinecha, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Those words we just chanted come from Torah, and they tell us to impress upon our children these words of Torah. For the past number of years, I think we've done that here, and now you are teaching us your words of Torah. We'll continue hearing from Ben Hoffman.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I really started to become aware of my Jewishness after moving from Greensboro to Boone, a small college town with an even smaller Jewish population. As one of the few Jewish kids in the town, I wasn't really sure what it meant to be Jewish. I celebrated Shabbat on Fridays and studied Hebrew on Wednesdays. But why did I do that? What does it mean to be Jewish? Well, I was 6 or 7 at the time, so I didn't think too long on it, and settled with, I just am. And I continued with this question in the back of my mind, as the flow of prayer washed over me as I listened to my brother practice for his bar mitzvah, in the confusion as I showed my friend how to spin a dreidel upside down, and in the hush that fell over the Shabbat table when the candles were lit. I wasn't exactly sure what my traditions from Shabbat to Hebrew study were for, but they were something I had fallen into and something my parents and grandparents going back thousands of years had done. So if nothing else, Judaism meant tradition. Since moving back to Greensboro, I rediscovered a much bigger and more involved Jewish community with one of my favorite events, Mitzvah Day. Some people volunteer at a nearby farm or pack backpacks with school supplies, but for me and my grandma, Mitzvah Day means we return to our yearly tradition, Operation Bedroll. Here, plastic supermarket bags destined for the landfill get woven into bulky ropes of plastic yarn, which could then be crocheted into sleeping mats for people experiencing homelessness. The stockpiled bags bear the names of where we shop: gray bags from Walmart, brown bags from Harris Teeter, and white bags from Thank You get quickly and transformed into balls of plastic yarn, or plarn. As my fingers repeated the familiar motions, I was reminded what Mitzvah Day represents to me, going beyond ideas from Jewish tradition I discovered initially, like Tikkun Olam or mitzvot, but adding on to, reforming, and putting them into practice. And for now, that's what being Jewish is to me, a far-reaching community building around, but also building up, tradition. I'd like to be a part of that. Thank you.
We'll now hear Torah from Sally Collada.
Shabbat Shalom. I always loved that my backyard led to a forest. To my brother and me, what we saw was a realm of possibility. Together with our next-door neighbors, we would go outside every day and begin building a fictitious society. We called it the village. We started from the ground up, building forts out of nothing but sticks and twine. In a matter of weeks, our imaginative efforts yielded a flourishing community, complete with a bartering system, a hand-drawn newspaper, and individual responsibilities. Our purpose extended beyond the mere prosperity of our own personal dwellings. We were driven to contribute to the beauty and greater good of our cherished village community. Any seasoned construction worker, experienced scout, or perhaps an imaginative 8-year-old will attest to the significance of a strong foundation when constructing a dwelling. You need a stable base, one that can withstand the uncertainties and instability thrown at it. Strong foundations establish the standards for my aforementioned prosperity, enabling growth and expansion. Standing here on this bema, I hold an unwavering belief that Temple Emmanuel served as the bedrock not only for the development of my Jewish identity, but also for shaping the person I am today and the person I aspire to become. Just as the sticks of our childhood forts create a space where our village community could flourish, Temple Emmanuel acted as the catalyst for the formation of a vibrant and inclusive community, a place where solace, connection, and a profound sense of purpose were found. I've attended this temple since the good old days of TEPS, transitioning to Kesher student and now completing my final Sunday as a dedicated madraha. I've grown up attending Mitzvah Day each year, learning about the importance of Tikkun Olam and mitzvot. I could go on and on about what I consider to be the sticks of my Jewish identity. But when I think back to our backyard village, it wasn't just the sticks that created such a lively atmosphere. It was the people. Similarly, religiosity is not why I kept coming back. It was the people. It was the fostered sense of belonging, shaped by cornerstone Jewish values. My 16 years at the temple have heightened my urgency to make a difference within this community, whether it be as a member of this congregation, a constituent lobbying for what I believe in, or as a Greensboro citizen. In the fall, I will be attending the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. As I begin my collegiate journey, there is no doubt in my mind that I will continue to uphold the Jewish values and virtues bestowed upon me from childhood. I have so many thank yous to give and so many praises to sing about this community. Believe me, I wrote 50 words over the word count simply explaining how much I enjoy talking Grateful Dead with Rabbi Andy. But alas, thank you for spending this Saturday with us, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. continue with words from Adam Ma'aravi.
Being Jewish is a core part of my identity that infuses all aspects of my life. It is not just a set of religious beliefs or cultural traditions, but a deep connection to a rich history, a resilient community, and timeless values. To me, being Jewish is about so much more than just observing holidays and keeping kosher. At the most fundamental level, being Jewish to me means being part of an ancient and enduring people with a shared sense of ancestry, destiny, and responsibility. The Jewish people have survived millennia of persecution, displacement, and attempts at genocide, yet have maintained a unique identity, traditions, and connection to the land of Israel, which I was born in. This incredible resilience in the face of adversity is a source of profound pride and humility for me. I am in awe of the courage and resourcefulness and steadfastness of my ancestors, and I feel a deep obligation to carry on their legacy. But being Jewish is not just about the past. It's also about the present and future. As a Jew, I see it as my duty to be an active participant in the ongoing story of the Jewish people, to contribute to our collective welfare and advancement. This means staying connected to the Jewish community and supporting Jewish institutions, and working to combat anti-Semitism and secure the safety of Jews worldwide. It also means striving to embody and promote the core ethical principles of Judaism, such as tzedakah, tikkun olam, and pikuach nefesh. Beyond the communal and ethical dimensions, being Jewish also shapes my personal values, worldview, and approach to life. The Jewish emphasis on education, intellectual discourse, and questioning authority has instilled in me a deep curiosity and commitment to a lifelong learning. The Jewish tradition of celebrating life's joys and finding meaning in the smallest things has taught me resilience and gratitude. And the Jewish focus on family, community, and making the world a better place has given me a sense of purpose and social responsibility. Being Jewish is not just one facet of my identity, but a profound and multifaceted part of who I am. It connects me to something larger than myself, a group of people, and a 1,000-year-old civilization with a rich cultural heritage and an unbreakable spirit. It shapes my values as well as my worldview and a sense of obligation to my fellow community. And it fills me with a sense of belonging and purpose and hope, even in the face of the challenging times that comes with being Jewish in the modern world. It is a core part of my identity that I am deeply grateful and honored to uphold.
And now we'll hear from Ellie Millman.
So, funny story. 4 days ago at confirmation rehearsal, I practiced a completely different speech. The more I read it, the more I realized how un-Eliana-like it was. So after a talk and a good cry with Rabbi Libby, I had until the next morning to come up with something new. Cue the drama. I got in my car, blasted some soothing hype rap to stop the tears, ran into Bar Boyette, not with my car, greetings again, grabbed some food to avoid hunger, and headed back to Temple. In the youth lounge, I rewrote my speech while Rabbi Andy presided over the annual Jewish meeting down the hall. This narrative captures the essence of who I am, a resilient, proud, Jewish young adult. But I'm also a work in progress. Being Jewish, to me, means constantly learning, leading, and serving. It's about embracing change and growth, even when it's uncomfortable. Reflecting on my original speech, I realized how impersonal it was. Here's the irony, though. I'm an open book. I'm proud of the person I've become. But without the past, I wouldn't be who I am. Life's beauty is in its constant evolution. We plant the seeds that grow our identity and our environment. If we adapt and learn, we can become better versions of ourselves. My Jewish experiences have shaped me profoundly. They're like the outer edge pieces of a puzzle, forming the framework of my identity. As I fill in the internal pieces, my mentality, my interests, my passions, I'm building a complete picture of who I am. I live with the perspective of gratitude, and my Jewish experiences have shown me my purpose, creating positive change. One of my proudest achievements is reviving the Service Learning Club at Western Guilford High School. When I started, the club had no leadership structure, and I was basically the only member. Although meetings were easy to schedule, it was a little lonely. But I believed in its potential to create a sense of belonging and purpose. I created an environment that felt like a Jewish community for all students. I learned that every person has their own journey, and where we overlap, we create a space for exchanging knowledge and experiences. My next adventure will be at Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee. There, I plan to dive into campus life in the Hillel community. I hope to use my Jewish experiences to embody the qualities of a lifelong learner, a compassionate individual, and an effective leader. This aligns perfectly with Rhodes' vision of graduates who integrate their experiences into leadership and action within their communities. In conclusion, being Jewish means constantly evolving, learning, leading, and serving. Thank you for being a part of my journey and for supporting me as I continue to grow.
We'll continue with the words of Mi Chamocha, our prayer for freedom, around page 240. And this prayer, especially this weekend, which in addition to being confirmation weekend is also Memorial Day weekend, we remember that freedom isn't free. That freedom has a cost. And we have responsibilities when it comes to freedom. And I think one thing, if you're not already feeling it, it's growing in you, is that our freedom and our continued heritage as Jewish people is in good hands. So we'll sing this version of Mi Chamocha. Now this is not our normal tune that we sing. This was a request. So you all better sing along. But the words are on page 240. Continue with the Amidah. We will rise and we'll start our prayers on page 242 and pray through page 248. Adonai sefatai tifta ufia kiteri latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem, Le'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Abraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atarav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Tomech Noflim Berofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melech, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Kishem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom, Kakatuv ayad neviecha, V'kara zel zeh ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzivaot, Meloch ol haaretz, Kivodo, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Madir Shimcha b'chol haaretz, Baruch Kivod Adonai, Mimkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu ve'hu Yashmienu, merachamav le'nei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Imloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Tzion, Ledor Vador, Hallelujah, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagigod Lecha, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagigod Lecha, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Ulenetzach Netzachim, Kedushatcha Naqdish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu, Mipinu lo yamush le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
So let's take our seats now as the ark doors are closed, and we're going to continue silently in prayer through page 260.
We'll continue, before we get to the Torah service with the Torah and the Ark, we'll continue with a few more words of Torah from our seniors, first from Noah Ribikov.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for coming to Shabbat Shalom. May 25, 2022, at 5:09 p.m. That was the time we got a call from the sheriff's office with the opening sentence. Your father was in a car crash and is being airlifted to Wake Forest Hospital. That sentence changed the course of my life. You may be asking yourself, how is this relevant to the topic of my Jewish journey? So allow me to answer. During the long year of recovery, a lot of prayers were said for my father and my family, many of which were from the people in this room. To this day, inside the temple and out, people still ask how we're doing, which we're always very grateful for. Being Jewish opens doors to more than just religion. You get a family with that as well. We're all connected in some way, shape, or form when it comes to Judaism. We have greeted each other, laughed with each other, and for some, cried with each other. Being family with someone does not have to be a blood bond, but can rather be a connection through shared experiences that wind up bringing people together. One of the first memories that come to mind when I think about what people have done here to help me is with Dana. This happened about 2.5 years ago, but it still means a lot. I remember having everything in my life feeling like it was going wrong and having such a hard time with it that I wound up falling asleep in the middle of a Kesher class on Sunday morning while being a Maji. Dana woke me up and brought me to the stairwell to see what was going on, and quite honestly, I broke down right then and there. I was hurting, but I found solace in this building, and being here on Sundays was what helped me get through the week. That's a memory I think about all the time when I'm here, and it will definitely stay with me forever. I'll always truly appreciate the people in this building, the people around me, and the memories that I've made with the people on the Bima with me, from the Nifty trip in Israel to the RAC trip in DC, and meeting all y'all in Miss Kramer's class back in 8th grade. It's my parents who brought me to and from Kesher before I could drive myself. I don't say much, but I truly appreciate what you did for me. I appreciate how forgiving you are with me when I get in trouble and helping me grow into the person I am today. I'll make sure the lawn looks good next weekend, trust. My Jewish journey has been about finding peace, or shalom. Preserving my peace has become ever more important to me as I've grown up to realize what I truly value in my life, such as my family, friends, religion, and finding my way to have a happy and successful life. Coming here has brought a lot of peace in my life when I'm going through difficult times, even if it's some I don't mention. I would also encourage y'all to look around to the people around you. Look for a new friend, family member, or just someone to come to services when you need it. Our peace is often found by being with one another, and that has been a blessing for me on my Jewish journey. Shabbat Shalom.
Next, we'll hear from Julia Ringel.
Shabbat Shalom. To me, the best part about being Jewish is the community. It's the friends I can go to if I need to talk, even if we live halfway across the world from each other. It's the teachers and adults and rabbis that I know will support me through any problem I approach them with. I've been lucky to find this community in many ways, from camp to BBYO to right here at Temple Emmanuel. My Jewish journey started at Temple Emmanuel Preschool, or TEPS, building homemade menorahs and planting trees for Tu B'Shvat. Most Friday nights, you could find me bimming and bombing with the rest of my class at Tot Shabbat, too scared of being burnt to light my tea candle from my parents. It was those nights that showed me the connection between Judaism and music. Many summers of Jewish summer camp cemented for me the importance of music to Jewish culture. Since then, I've spread my love of Jewish music as the music madracha at Temple for the past 3 years, teaching music I grew up learning and introducing Temple to new songs like the Happy Hoffman Michalocha. I wouldn't be talking about what being Jewish means to me if I didn't talk about BBYO, the Jewish youth group that I haven't stopped yapping about for the past 4 years. There are genuinely no words to describe the impact that BBYO has had on my life. I formed my deepest friendships, best memories, and strongest leadership skills through this organization, and I would be a completely different person if I hadn't joined in 8th grade. I want to thank my parents and Temple Emmanuel for enabling me to grow up in such a supportive community that allowed me to figure out my own Jewish identity. Next year, as I move to Chapel Hill for college, I plan on being heavily involved with Hillel on campus. I'll go on Birthright, be a counselor at Jewish summer camp, and continue to explore my Jewish identity in as many ways as I can. As I work through the many endings that accompany senior year, I keep reminding myself of the Winnie the Pooh quote, how lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. The more I think about this quote, the more I realize that it's unfit for my goodbye to Temple Emmanuel, because it's impossible to say goodbye to the place that raised me. What makes Temple so special is the community that it creates, a community that can never be separated no matter the distance or the time. While I won't be living in Greensboro next year, Temple Emmanuel will always be a part of home for me. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Next up, we'll hear from Kira Ross.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm extremely proud of my Jewish identity as I stand before you today. Growing up, Judaism was fundamental in shaping my values, beliefs, and sense of community. Out of all the lessons Judaism has taught me, the most important lesson is how to love. Love for myself, love for my friends and family, and love for the world around me. Judaism has taught me that you never know when your last moment on earth will be, so it is important to live each day with love and gratitude. Judaism has taught me that kindness and love are universal. My upbringing in a Jewish environment has taught me the value of the community support and overcoming challenges, reminding me that I am never alone in my struggles. Through my journey with Judaism, I have learned to appreciate the beauty of life and the strength that comes from facing hardships head on. I am grateful for the lessons it has taught me, such as to live with perspective that values and focuses on what truly matters to me. I have been blessed enough to go to the Holy Land twice, and both times have found the opportunity to connect deeper with my faith. Judaism means different things to everyone, but to me it means showing love and bringing joy to others. I hope to deepen my faith and spread joy to others as I continue my journey as a Jewish individual. This year, I had the opportunity to intern with the Carolina Corps Football Club, one of North Carolina's first female majority-owned soccer teams, and pursue sports marketing as one of 5 women on their team. I interned as their social media and content coordinator. This fall, I plan to continue studying sports marketing and management in Barcelona, Spain. I hope this opportunity will allow me to positively impact women of all ages who want to pursue a career in sports. And I hope to encourage people to follow their dreams and demonstrate that anything is achievable with perseverance and hard work. All lessons I have learned from developing my personal Jewish lifestyle. I want to express my gratitude to my friends, family, and mentors for their unwavering support and guidance throughout my journey. Thank you once again to everyone in this room for your presence and your support. I'm excited to see what the future holds, and I'm grateful for the opportunities that lie ahead. Thank you.
With that, we'll continue with the Torah service, although the whole thing's been a Torah service. The Torah service will remove the Torah from the Ark. You can turn to page 367, and we'll ask that as the Torah is removed from the Ark and the Ark is opened, we'll ask that you please rise.
Come on in closer over here. So this is one of those incredible moments, those moments where we pass something, a legacy on from one generation to the next. You guys are, I'm going to talk about you guys a little bit later with many, many more words. But for right now, for all of you, for the senior class, I want you to repeat after me these words which at one point in your life were said to you. And now you're going to turn and say them to the 11th graders over here, representatives from our 11th grade class, the rising seniors at this point. That must be pretty cool to say. And for our graduating seniors, for those who are taking these next steps, I want you to repeat these words after me, and then we'll pass the Torah to the 11th graders. We give to you the 11th grade class.
We give to you the 11th grade class.
The sacred teaching contained in this scroll.
The sacred teaching contained in this scroll.
That you may love it and cherish it.
That you may love it and cherish it.
Learn from it and live by it.
Learn from it and live by it.
All of your life.
All of your life.
notein HaTorah.
11th grade, you've got some big shoes to fill, but we know you will fill it with strength and with leadership, and may you be blessed to lead our community into the next steps. Amen. You guys can walk to the other side. Emma, this was your bat mitzvah Torah portion, so full circle, full circle. But it's been a while, so you probably had to practice a little. All right, so 11th grade, you can move to this side. For our next Aliyah, Julia Ringel will be reading for us Numbers chapter 25, verses 5 through 7, which is still on page 946. And for our blessing, we call forward anyone who's thinking of someone in need of healing. So if you're thinking of someone for healing, this is our healing blessing. You can join us on the bima. If mobility is an issue and you'd rather stay where you are and stand there, that's also wonderful. And we invite you to the bima at this time. Girl, hand this to people who are coming up.
Anyone else for a blessing to be up here for the blessing of healing?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'charanu mikol ha'amim v'natanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein
Amen. Et Safiach kitzircha lo tiktzor v'tiven nizarecha lo tivtzor shinat Shabbaton yiyeh la'aretz v'hayita Shabbat ha'aretz lachem le'ochla lecha v'la'avdecha ula'amatecha v'lizchircha ולתושביך הגרים עמך, ולבהמתך ולחיה אשר בארצך, תהיה כל תבואתה לאכול. 1, 2, 3. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. מי שבירך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב ואימותינו שרה רבקה רחל ולאה, הוא יברך וירפא את כל החולים האלה. We ask, O God, that just as you sent blessings to our ancestors in times past, that you also send blessings to those in need of healing that we're thinking of on this Shabbat morning, and they are?
Aaron Blyberg.
David Rubikov.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu yimalei rachamim aleihem lachlimam ulorapotam ulachzikam v'yishlach lehem mehera refuah shlema mina shamayim refuat hanefesh refuat haguf b'toch sha'ar cholei amo Yisrael v'kol ha'amim hashta b'agala b'zman kariv v'nomar Amen. God, we ask that you be filled with compassion for all those whom we have named and all those that we keep in our hearts. May their health be revived, their strength be restored, and may each of them experience a complete renewal of body and spirit. Together we all say, Amen.
And for our last Aliyah this morning, we call forward Liz Geyer, who will read for us Numbers chapter 25, verses 8 through 10. We're still on page 946, and we'll jump over to 947. And we call forward for the Torah blessing, all the seniors, come on up. Share some of those sheets this way. Hold on. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamborach. Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Amen. V'safarta lecha Sheva Shevatot Shanim Sheva Pe'amim V'hayu lecha Yemei Sheva Shevatot Hashanim Teshava Arba'im Shana V'cha avarta Shofar Teruah Ba'hodesh hashvi, ba'atzor lahodesh, ba'yom ha'kippurim, ta'aviru shofar, b'chol artzachem, v'kidashtem, 8 shana, tahamishim shana, ukratem dror, ba'aretz, l'chol yoshvecha, yuval hitielachem, v'shavtem, ish el akuzato, v'ish el mishpakto, tashu. 1, 2, 3. Baruch
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Well, 12th grade senior Temple Emmanuel class, may you be blessed. May you be blessed as you go on your ways. Your ways are taking you all around this country and all around this world. Your next steps are near and far and farther, but we are so proud of who you have become. Honestly, we're proud of the part that we have played in helping, however much we've been able to help along the way. And we're grateful. I think everyone in this room can agree that we are grateful for having had the opportunity to learn from you thus far and to continue to learn from you as you go on your next steps. And we are blessed. We are blessed by your presence and by your teaching, to which we all say, Amen. We will now lift and dress the Torah. We ask that you please rise. All right, you got it.
Page 377 in our prayer books. You can close your Torah books. In the prayer books, page 377, a very special prayer for the people and the state of Israel. Avinu, Avinu. Barechet Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Smichat Geulatenu. Let's join our voices together at the bottom of page 377, with this very special prayer for Israel. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. We are going to open the ark one more time, at which time we will all stand as we return the Torah to the ark on the bottom of page 374. Torah is a tree of life to all who hold fast to it. All of its supporters are happy. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all of its paths are designed to lead to peace. It's
Please be seated. We'll continue with just a few more words of Torah from our seniors. We'll start with Ari Schwartz.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming today. I can't tell you how important it is to me to be up here and back with the people I grew up with, sharing our stories. Yesterday, I graduated high school in Massachusetts, where I've been for the last 2 years. In order to make confirmation, I chose to forego graduation parties happening this weekend, and I can already tell you, it's so worth it. Additionally, I have the opportunity to write this speech and think about my Jewish experience. It gave me time to reflect on what being Jewish means to me. Growing up at Temple Emmanuel meant so much to me. This amazing group of students up here are included in so many of my best childhood memories. I have missed you all so much over the past couple years, and I'm so glad to be up here with you today. Some of my fondest memories come from time either spent during Sunday school or the play dates that always followed. Other memories include the plays we did together, Hannah Senesh, the Purim Spiel, and Herschel and the Hanukkah Goblins. Studying for my bat mitzvah during the midweek Hebrew school, the train song, tutoring with Dr. Dresser, writing my speech with Sue Clow, and finally being able to accomplish that monumental task of leading services during my bat mitzvah. And of course, let's not forget all the great graduation parties that always followed. To me, the best part about being Jewish is less about religion and more about the history, tradition, and values that have been passed down from generation to generation, which ties us all together with a common thread. Having spent the spring semester of my sophomore year in Israel through Heller High, I have developed a deep connection to the country. It has been especially difficult being away from you guys during this tough period with all that is happening in Israel and the backlash we're all feeling as Jews from some of our peers and the national media. Knowing how difficult life was in Israel before the conflict makes it hurt even more to see how people in my country are reacting to this evil war started by Hamas. I have longed to be amongst my friends and family so that I could have the comfort of being with others who no doubt are feeling the same pain. So many memories came back to me while writing this speech that at times I found myself lost in time. Normally, I'm not one to enjoy writing, but for this speech, I found it strangely enjoyable. As I look forward from here, I will be attending the University of Tampa this fall and excited to participate in the local Hillel chapter, where I can once again be connected to my Jewish heritage. Thank you all for coming. Shabbat Shalom.
We'll continue with words from Emma Strasser.
Good morning. 5 years ago to this day, I stood on this same bima and gave my bat mitzvah speech. While I considered giving the same speech to see if anyone would catch on, I decided sharing a few words about what inspires me to live a Jewish life would be best for this confirmation service. My name is Emma Strasser, and my Jewish life is defined by the concept of tikkun olam. The first instances I remember of helping someone were probably just holding the door for elderly people around me. But as I grew older, I began volunteering at food pantries such as the JFS Food Pantry, Backpack Beginnings, and Out of the Garden. It was during these experiences that I started realizing the profound impact my actions could have on the people around me. Spending a few extra dollars at the grocery store to buy canned goods, or dedicating an hour to assembling bags of donated food at JFS didn't seem like much to me at first. Then, I came to understand that these seemingly mundane acts were changing someone's life for the better by ensuring they had food to eat. Tikkun olam, or repairing the world, is embedded within our faith as a profound sense of responsibility towards each other and towards humanity as a whole. Our tradition teaches me the importance of empathy and kindness, reminding us to love thy neighbor as thyself. This commandment isn't just a suggestion, but to me, a call to action, challenging us to actively seek out ways to support and uplift those around us, regardless of their backgrounds or beliefs. Being Jewish instills in me a sense of duty to make the world a better place for all, but my commitment to Tikkun Olam extends beyond individual acts of kindness. Throughout history, Jews have been at the forefront of social movements, walking hand in hand to fight for civil rights and against inequality and oppression in all its forms. Our history resonates with me today and always, urging me to speak out against injustice and stand in solidarity with those who are oppressed. Tikkun Olam is not a solitary endeavor. It's about coming together as a community, leveraging our collective strengths and resources to make a meaningful impact. It's about recognizing that we are all interconnected and that our actions, no matter how small, can ripple outwards to create positive change in the world. Such as when our community and I marched for Israel in Washington and not only denounced anti-Semitism and advocated for freeing hostages, but also championed basic human rights for all, regardless of background or religion. As I start my college experience at the University of Florida, I carry with me the lessons of Tikkun Olam that were instilled in me here at Temple Emmanuel. I'm committed to living out these values each day, getting involved with the Hillel on campus, and being a voice for the voiceless, standing up for what is right even in the face of adversity. Temple Emmanuel, B'nai Shalom Day School, and the greater Greensboro Jewish community have given me so many wonderful opportunities to grow into the Jewish woman before you today. I am proud to be Jewish, and I am honored to be a part of a tradition that inspires such profound acts of kindness and compassion. Together, let us continue to repair the world, one small act of goodness at a time. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And last for this morning, only by virtue of the alphabet, Sophie Willen.
Shalom, everyone. Everyone here is having a wonderful morning today, or afternoon. As I wrote these words, I thought about every stepping stone and moment that has made me who I am, so I'm able to share my story right here today. Growing up, I lived right down the street from the temple, which means I was at every single celebration with the community. For example, every single Sunday, I would dance and sing along with my childhood best friend, Ari Schwartz, who actually lived right next door to me. I danced in the aisles with her, and in that moment, we were having the times of our lives. Everyone would clap and sing as a community. It was as if we were one big family celebrating life in the Jewish community as a whole. As I got older, part of my life changed, so I had to move away. But mine changed in a different way. I wasn't allowed to express my beliefs in my religion anymore. I was put into a church not understanding why I'm learning something completely different from what I'm used to. I used to be able to talk about being Jewish and who I was, but some family members didn't agree with who I was and said it was forbidden for me to wear the Star David and to have a bat mitzvah. What they didn't realize was that I still had people from the Jewish community supporting me no matter what was happening in my life. And because of that, I kept on getting more interested in who I was as a person. As I became a high school student, I started getting more interested specifically at the beginning of my junior year. It was my dad, my biggest role model, and my pal who let me figure out the path that was best for me. I surprised him one day when I asked if we could go to Passover. I would like to say that we did have the best time ever, and it was just a father-daughter moment. I remember after Passover, we went to Harris Teeter because I had the random urge to make matzo ball soup. Mind you, this was my first time making this specific soup. I made it the very next day because no one can get enough of matzo ball soup. Immediately after my dad tasted it, he said it tasted like his mother's soup. After a couple bites, he sat there and he looked over at me and said, "Thank you for bringing back the taste of how my mother made it." I share this story with everyone here today because being Jewish is about family, communities, recipes, celebration, and appreciating everyone who is near you. I'm an old but a new face in the Jewish community, but that's what makes life exciting because it's never too late to make new traditions, but also savor past traditions. As long as you're with your community, you will be able to do anything. Thank you.
I'd like to say on behalf of the confirmation class of 5784, we can't thank y'all enough for coming, and as you heard throughout the speeches from my friends and I. We want to give a special thank you to our families in particular. You all are a huge part of why we're here today, and your presence today and always is so meaningful for the journeys all of us are on. We are also incredibly grateful for the experience that Temple Emmanuel has given us. I would like, big and small. I would like to direct your attention to your pamphlets as well, where you'll find a section on the David Geyer Fund. This fund helps Jewish teens engage in social justice experiences, such as the RAC in DC and so much more. This is the final gift that we're asking from all of you, and are hopeful that you take into consideration donating to this cause, so that future Temple Emmanuel teens can have the amazing experiences that all of us did. Once again, thank you all for coming out to support us today, and Shabbat Shalom.
Wow. What an incredible group of people you are. This community is so, so blessed. And we as rabbis are blessed. I'm so proud of you. Temple Emmanuel Senior Class of 2024. Today marks, because I got to teach some Torah for a second here, right? Today marks the 32nd day of the traditional Jewish counting period between Passover and our next major holiday, which is Shavuot, the day on which we mark the giving of Torah. And I find it amazing that your confirmation is taking place on this day, the 32nd day. Most Jews know about the whole number word thing. You know, like Chai, which means life, and that also is the number 18. And we love it so much that we give like monetary gifts and donations in multiples or in factors of 18, right? That whole thing. The wall behind me is 18. There's 18 windows up here, that whole thing, right? Well, 32 is the same way. 32 is a number that in Hebrew is spelled with two letters, the letter Lamed and the letter Bet, or in this case, the letter Vet. And that spells the Hebrew word lev, which means heart. So I will say this about you. Each of you has spoken from your heart today. You truly have. You told us what makes you you. You've also told us that being Jewish is at the center of your heart. We could no sooner separate you from Judaism than separating you from your own hearts. And that's amazing. I've also watched as each of you has led with your hearts. Different things, but always with such fire and passion. And I'm not going to go down the whole list of your respective involvements. You've already detailed so much of that. But I know this. You've impacted our community. You've touched our hearts. Your legacy in the organizations that you led, the programs that you participated in were profound. Giving from your heart. You've all been responsible for superior involvement and superlative leadership. And that is a legacy of heart. One last word about heart. You've touched the hearts of so many in this community. You've impacted the hearts of your rabbis. Rabbi Fisher will be moving to a new community, and you have set a very high bar for her. And for me, I have known many of you since your earliest days, but I haven't frozen you there. I don't only see you in your pre-K years or leading up to B'nai Mitzvah, Benot Mitzvah, or other things like that. I've been there as you've grown, learned, taken risks, flourished, made mistakes, and so much more. I hope you told others how you pranked me the other day. Where's Ari? Ari, did they tell you about this? They were all like laughing and saying Rabbi Andy and everything like, no, it's very funny. They should tell you about it. It's a long story, but it's a funny story. I'm not going to go into it. Right? But each of you knows how to have fun. You know how to be silly when the moment calls for it. But you also know how to snap in and be serious when that's needed. You fill the world with such goodness, with such heart. Our world needs its Jews. And our world needs a next generation of Jewish leaders like you. Temple had 13 B'nai Mitzvah during your year. There are 13 of you here today. Although the lineup has had a few changes in it. Isaac Ellick, for example, he would have been here, he would have been number 14, but he followed up on one of his dreams and is now enlisted in the Marines. We should probably put a picture of him in your composite picture on our wall. Isaac, wherever you are, we send you our blessings. And I'll tell you this, you represent nearly 100% of Temple Emmanuel's Jewish 12th graders. And think of what you've done. You've been our madrachim. Your youth group involvement has taken place on the local, regional, and international levels. Some of you have been builders, starting Jewish organizations or pioneering things that programmatically or technologically Temple hadn't even dreamed of prior to the pandemic. Many of you have had those Jewish camp experiences, which are experiences of a lifetime. The same could be said about going to D.C. You've gone on Temple's trips to the Holocaust Memorial Museum. You're not strangers to Capitol Hill and real advocacy there because you participated in the Litakane Social Justice Seminar. And I heard it a couple of times, and it's so darn impressive that of the many people from Greensboro who went to D.C. for the historic march last November, the largest gathering of Jewish people ever in the history of this country, teens were among that leadership. You were among that group. And that was incredible. 3 of you went on the March of the Living. Many of you have already been to Israel at least once. Adam, you were born there. I hope that your hearts are full. Mine is. Each of you is amazing. As a group, there aren't enough words to just talk about how great you are, and I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful to you. And I join you in saying thanks to your parents and to your families. For decades now, this congregation has done something truly important in the years leading up to high school. You know this. We have a perpetual culture, one that reinforces itself of meaningful engagement. And so as I say thank to each and every one of you, I also want to acknowledge the long line of parents and Temple leaders who have made sure that we have the policies, programs, space, and resources to do exactly this, because it's holy. And I'm grateful to the Greensboro Jewish Federation, which has always been a partner in so many of our efforts. So while today I could offer 32 pieces of advice, I won't. I will offer 6. You may have heard these before. We say them every year. But good advice, advice that comes from the heart, advice that I wish had been told me before I finished high school and took my next steps. Good, solid advice bears repeating. So the first thing, create community. Find your new Jewish family on campus or wherever your path takes you next. Hillel, as many of you have said, is the central Jewish address on most campuses. They are the place where you don't have to check your identity as a Reformed Jew at the door. But you may be in a place where there is no Hillel, so find a local synagogue. If you're still in Greensboro, please come home and come home often. If you're looking at fraternities or sororities, look for the ones with Jewish concentrations. Some are chartered as such, others are not. Community matters. Find and be part of a Jewish community, no matter its size or makeup. And remember, you can always find Temple every Friday night online, plus at other times, just in case you are far away and want to reconnect. I know that's what I do when I'm away from Greensboro. I just click in, and there it is, and it is incredible, and it fills my heart. Create community. Number 2, continue learning. That's the way that you offset juvenile Judaism. You will wind up learning some of the things that we taught you here again, and you will wind up learning some other things, maybe even things that challenge you. Take those Hebrew or Judaic studies courses if they're offered on campus. Those Tanakhs, the Hebrew Bibles that we gave you when you were called to the Torah's B'nai Mitzvah, they're great tools. Pack them and bring them to college. You may need them for a course. They might help you when you're writing a paper. You now have more resources than ever, including online ones. I don't need to tell you. You've shown me these things. So continue exploring and be in touch with me and stay in touch with Rabbi Fisher. Even though she'll be at another congregation, you were her first. Stay in touch with your rabbis. We will always be there for you as sounding boards and as thought partners. Third, develop your relationship with God. Asking questions and wrestling are 2 of the holiest callings in Judaism. Find a place for Shabbat, the high holidays, and more, or come home. You will grow in your respective fields of interest. You will master things along life's path. Be grateful as you do so. Those subjects that you study are incredible. Delve into them. Lead groups, lead organizations, but don't let this go to your head. Instead, let it impact your heart. No matter the size of your successes, be sure to leave a little room for God. Fourth, you live in a world where nearly half of the Jewish people call Israel home. Do I need to tell you that Israel has been a popular target of smear campaigns? No, you've lived through this. We all have seen how complicated issues just far enough away get flattened. We know that those who want to see Israel destroyed feel that they can say whatever they want to and get away with it. And other times, the verbal, visual, and online attacks on Israel, especially on college campuses, cross the line. They are severe, demonizing, delegitimizing, and hold Israelis and Jews to double standards. Some of you, like me, have lost friendships over this. Others are frustrated. I want you to know that your rabbis in this community, we're here as resources for you. We can help you navigate this terrain. Standing up is important. So is deepening your ties to Israel. Think about spending a college semester in Israel, or at the very least, during one of your breaks, go on a free birthright trip to Israel. Number 5, there are many isms in the world, and Judaism stands against them. At the same time, we have seen a national and worldwide rise in anti-Semitism. Identity matters in our world. Stand up against the oldest and most pervasive religious hatred, anti-Semitism. Be aware and raise your voice. And lastly, this is number 6. Remember that Judaism is a full contact sport. You are going into a world which needs you. It needs Jewish involvement, Jewish voices. It needs those of us who are familiar with and comfortable with our Jewish skins. It needs our rituals. In my opinion, you are finishing high school at exactly the right time. Be participants and innovators, just like you've done in this community. Don't merely be spectators. The 13 of you are one big lev. You are one big heart. But like our people in every generation, there's a challenge before you. Take what you have done and learned in this community, what has been nourished in and by your hearts, and build forward. I will guarantee you that there will be moments, perhaps many, where you will feel unprepared and even lost. People will even tell you, here's the stuff your rabbis didn't want to tell you. You know something? We will always explore every subject with you. And if we haven't up until this point, all you have to do is ask. But know this, you will never be alone. You're loved by your families, you're loved by your teachers, and you're loved by your rabbis. And we're only a cell phone, text, or WhatsApp away. Most importantly, however, realize that with all the challenges you will face as you take these next steps, you're never going to do this alone. Your people will always be there, and God will always be there with you. May God bless all of you with great success next year and in the coming years. May you be blessed with health, learning, meaning, and peace. And may you be blessed to continue to lead with your hearts and touch the hearts of all around you, as together we all say, Amen. Friends, I want to direct your attention to the screens in front of you. We have it's going to start moving in a second, and you're going to see some really, really cool pictures of our seniors, this one big heart. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now we'll celebrate and we're going to honor each of you. We're not going to play the graduation song underneath, but we're going to call each of you up by name. And I'm just going to tell everyone what everyone is being handed. First of all, everyone's going to get a certificate. I know you've spent a lot of time at Temple Emmanuel, and that means you have a lot of Temple Emmanuel certificates. Keep this with them. They should be in your safe along with your birth certificate. You're also going to be receiving a Temple Emmanuel mug that we hope you'll bring with you wherever you go. It has your name on it in Hebrew and in English. It also has Temple Emmanuel's website and phone number and Facebook and Instagram because we hope you'll stay in touch. And it has a little sweetness inside of it, and if you became B'nai Mitzvah here at Temple Emmanuel, it also has your bar or bat mitzvah speech inside. So you can compare and contrast and love your younger selves. And then one thing which we're not going to be handing out here, but we'll give to you all a little later, we felt it might be a little bulky, but everyone is going to receive a t-shirt which has the outline of North Carolina. It says Shalom Y'all. It has a heart over Greensboro, and on the back, you'll always be repping Temple Emmanuel.
You guys asked for this.
Are they going to be in the gift shop? We'll see what we can do later on. So we'll call you up by name, and as we call your name, we'll ask you to come forward. And I think now would be an appropriate time if you wanted to clap for each of our students as they came forward. We don't usually clap in Temple, but this is a good time to do so. So first, we'll call forward Rachel Elizabeth Bressler. Next, Elizabeth Rebecca Geyer. Jacob David Gerbs. Benjamin Jack Hoffman. The king of quorum.
To find Ben here.
Sally Ann Collada. No talking about the Grateful Dead back there. We have more people. Adam Jacob Maravi. Eliana Rose Millman. By the way, these are all signed by myself and Rabbi Karen, as well as Paul, our temple president, and Marcia, our education chair. So one of those signatures may be worth something someday, so definitely hold on to these. Noah Julian Rybakov. And hug with gusto, Julia McCabe Ringel. Kira Sophia Ross. Ariella Lee Schwartz. Emma Sophia Strasser. And again, only because of the alphabet, Sophie Rose Willen. All right, we're going to sing a song. And you know this song. And you're going to sing it for one another.
Cement up, mazel tov, mazel tov, cement up, cement up, mazel tov, mazel tov, cement up.
We will now begin the conclusion of our service. We're on page 586 for the Aleinu. We ask as the ark is open that you please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula li'atzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratza, v'lo hazamanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo samchalkeinu kahan, v'gor aleinu kechol hamunah, va'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'neh Marcos both doors
Our happiest occasions are always the ones that touch us in our hearts. They also are the times that we remember those who have passed on. And so tonight, with sadness in our heart, we're remembering Paula W. Hyman, who passed away just 3 weeks ago. And our hearts and blessings go out to her family as we're still during this period of Shloshim, the first 30 days after her passing. We're also remembering those whose yahrzeits, the anniversary of their passing, took place during the course of this past week. And so today we are remembering Nellie Becker, Zalman Botchkis, Hank Brott, Abram Fishbein, Daniel Foreman, Huline Frank, Bill Frank, Irving Froman, Annette Gedali, Fred Glickman, Howard Goldberg, Linda Goldman, Nancy Gordon, Jeffrey Greenberg, Barbary Heister, Edward Horowitz, Gerald Piltz, Albert Sheridan, Chet Shilasky, Harry Simons, Jerome Simon, Raymond Smith, Ann Spear, Maud Taylor, Harold Werner, as well as Robert Willen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always live on as a blessing and as an inspiration. And today also, as we approach Memorial Day, this is Memorial Day weekend, I just want us to also remember all the people from our country who donned the uniform of our people and who paid the ultimate price. As Rabbi Fisher said earlier today, freedom is not free, and on this particular Shabbat, we lift up their memories, some of whom are buried at the Hebrew Cemetery here in Greensboro, some of whom are honored elsewhere. But again, our hearts are with them and with their families as they remember. Friends, let's stand together as a community. This time we're doing it for comfort and support as we say the traditional Jewish words of remembrance, which are on page 598 in our Sidurim in our prayer books. Yit Gadal, Yit Kadash, Shmei Rabbah. Be'alma divara chirute. V'yam
Years of wisdom, not the first and not the last. L'dor vador, nani galecha. L'dor vador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. L'dor vador, these lips will praise your name. On the journey that we carry in our hearts, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that would part. We are blessed and we are holy. We are children of your way, and the words that bring us meaning, we will have the strength to say. L'dor vador, nani galecha. L'dor vador, we protect its shame from generation to generation. L'dor vador, these lips will praise your name.
Shabbat shalom.
Page 604 in the prayer books.
Someone take a cheese.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'torah berit olam. Begiu b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'torah berit olam. Ki shechet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'torah berit olam. Hayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'torah berit olam.
Alkein be'erach Adonai Yom HaShabbat v'yakashehu. So God blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim. Go ahead and drink.
You can drink it.
Yeah.
Drink on behalf of us.
Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
On your way out, we hope not only will you hug and kiss and just smother these amazing, amazing people with love and gratitude. Also, make sure you check out the display cases because there's pictures of all of you from throughout the ages, from babies to now, so we hope you'll check that out. Turn to the person next to you and say, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Here, take some pollen.
Yeah, don't. Oh, damn, we're doing that? Oh, it's frozen. No, it's cold. Oh, you got like half of it.